Now you can write aeronautical in the AE square. The next combination is AI. Is that common or not common? It's common, right? A, as in rain. So we write AI in the next square of the grid, leaving some space for an example word. Now we have the word contain. AO, yes or no? And the answer is no. You do have words like aorta, but if you look at aorta, what you have is the A followed by the O, but two distinct syllables, A or ta. AU, yes or no? Definitely. AU says or. Let's use the spelling formula to spell the or word, August. Now we have August. On to the next square. AR, yes or no? That's right, R is a common two-letter vowel. Let's use the word particularly. There's a special note here, and that is that this seems like a fairly laborious process, but what it is an imitation of what we do very rapidly as good spellers. What we're doing is we're helping people to internalize this formula, because this is what good spellers do. This is the kind of self-checking that they do in order to spell the words they need to spell. The important point here, though, is that your students aren't going to have to go through this formula 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 laboriously like that for the rest of their lives. You only need to practice this 2 or 3 times with the mainstream classroom before people start really getting it, because it's intuitive. The next word is the word particularly. Let's use the spelling formula. Step 1. Count the syllables. How many syllables? 5. Draw lines. So we have 5 lines, and we start with what we know. Firstly, we know that at least in one of those syllables there's an AR. Which syllable? The first syllable, that's right, the AR in pa, even though we say particularly. There's also another AR, and your students may spot this, and that's fine to place it on the 4th line. All right, now that we've started with what we know, there's something else. There's a suffix in here. What suffix? Lee, and Lee is always spelt like this. All right, let's put that on the last syllable line. Not much else to do, really. So, going back to the beginning, we've written a vowel. Say the whole syllable, pa, par. Does this match what I've written? No. So fill in the missing letters. P, good. Next syllable. Which consonant can we start it with? Tick, t. Good. Write the letter T. And then what's the vowel? I. Does this match what I've written? Tick, tick, no. So fill in the missing letters. And some people might write CK, because tick is a word, right? And this is where this idea of getting students to look for the small words inside big words doesn't really work. It's much better to have students sound things out and use the spelling formula, or at least use the most common letter. The second part of the step, keep it simple, is use one letter, not 2, wherever you possibly can. So if you're looking for a k sound here, CK is not keeping it simple. You're using the most common letter, C. Pa, tick. Good. Next syllable. Say the whole syllable, pa, tick, U. What else could it be but a U? Let's move on. Say the next syllable, particular. What consonant can we start the next syllable with? L. And that's the whole word dealt with, particularly. Students often report that they find this quite easy, and they didn't realize that it was that simple. They ask me questions like, is that all there is? Because a common coping strategy is to throw letters at a page and see what sticks. If you write more letters, struggling spellers think, then it makes you look like you know more letters. But actually, we have to keep drilling in, keep it simple.